Brendon, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to introduce my team who's going to be working on your sale. Of course, I am the team leader, the team owner, the business owner, and my main goal is really to try to drive as much activity into your property as possible so that we can get as many showings as possible, because we know the more people that we can get in to take a look at the property, the better chance we have to find the perfect fit. And the perfect fit buyer is usually the one that, because they enjoy or they choose your property over the other ones they have to look at, they typically are the ones that are willing to pay the highest price for the property, which is kind of what our goal is. So first and foremost, I want to introduce you. Laura Liga is she is my client care coordinator. So she has been with me now for just about 7 years and has literally been involved in hundreds and hundreds of transactions. So she knows the ins and outs of not only the selling process, but she also has a really, really good understanding of kind of the way that showings happen, the feedback that we get, the things that we're looking for to help drive the marketing that we're doing for the property. So she is an integral part of our team here. And where you're going to come in contact with Laura, she's going to reach out to you when we get the property listed and go through kind of the expectations. And a lot of the things that you and I will talk about or have talked about, she's going to kind of reiterate those so you know what to expect going forward. She's also in charge of trying to get as much feedback on the property as possible. Now, I'm going to give you some insight into how the feedback happens, why we don't always get as much feedback as we'd like, and kind of what we're looking at besides just agent feedback from showings. So Laura is really my right-hand person on the team. She's been with me a long time and does a great job. Once we get your property under contract, I have a closing coordinator who's also part of my team, and her name's Stacy Bowers. So Stacy's role is, once we get that contract ratified and we've negotiated it, then at that point she's going to take over and take it from the contract through the closing. And if you think of the closing coordinator's position, think of it like this. There are all kinds of moving parts in a transaction. You've got a buyer, you've got a seller, you usually have two agents, sometimes just one, sometimes I'll be the only one involved. And then you have inspectors, appraisers, you've got lenders, you've got all kinds of different things going on. So all these different things that are happening, and think of it almost as like, you know, if it's a circus, then Stacy is the ringmaster. So although we don't control a lot of what can happen from contract to close, like we don't actually have control over when it closes, we don't have control over what inspections issues to come up or appraisals or things like that. Our job, her job, is to try to minimize the surprises. Now, I'll tell you, in most closings, there's going to be something come up that we didn't know about, we didn't expect, and we'll work through that. But our goal is to try to minimize the amount of surprises that we have and have a good idea of where we're at in the process. But if you're a seller, understand that from contract to close, there are only a couple of points. You know, we won't know exactly what's happening. A lot of times, no news is good news, because you literally will go through the process from getting the contract, and then the lender, if there's a loan being done on the property, the lender is going through each one of their steps. But depending on who the lender is that the buyer chose, we don't always get as much information as we really would like. So just kind of know that up front. In addition to our specific team with the listing side of it, and then once we get a contract, I have a team of telemarketers. So my telemarketers, essentially what they're doing is they're going through and trying to address and identify and contact any of the potential buyers that are interested in properties like yours, to try to see if we can get them to come look at it. So I have a database right now. I've got about 25,000 people in my database that will market my listings to, along with everything that we do to generate new clients and new potential buyers, but we'll market directly to them. So the telemarketer's job is literally going through and making just listed calls. And it sounds something like this. So they pick up the phone, they'll call and say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I just listed another great home. Our team just listed another great home over in ABC Community. Tell me, who do you know that might be interested in purchasing that? So each week we're making hundreds of those calls on your behalf to try to generate as much interest as possible. On a side note, if you happen to have any type of community roster or an HOA list that has contact information, please, if you can get that to me, we will immediately put that on the list to go through and pick up the phone and dial them and make them aware your property is available, because that is going to be much easier than going through all of the tax records and manually trying to find phone numbers. We're going to do that if we don't already have them, but if you can make it a little bit quicker for us, then it's that much quicker that we're going to be on the phones promoting your property. In addition to the telemarketers, we've got dedicated buyer's agents on my team. So when I am, working on marketing for a property, or say I am on another appointment, I'm working with a buyer showing them your home, there's going to be other times where people are picking up the phone and calling and they're wanting to see something. So my dedicated buyer's agents take the overflow leads from what we can't work directly. So we want to make sure we put a lot of time, money, and effort into the marketing of our properties, and we generate a significant amount of leads. We want to make sure that we've got the bandwidth to be able to work those leads. So that's my dedicated buyer's agents team. And then in addition to them, let's see, we've got Stacy, Laura, my marketing department. So our marketing department, what they're doing is, and you'll see the results of this, you'll see some of the results. It'd take a long time to tell you exactly everything that they do, but my marketing department their job is to really try to get your property in as many places beyond your typical websites and stuff that everybody's doing, as many places as possible that buyers may be hanging out and looking for your home. Also, to present it in a way where it is in the best light. So when people are looking at it, they want to go see it. The marketing department is doing things like the e-flyers that we do, social media posting, putting it on Twitter, putting it on our Pinterest, company Pinterest page, Instagram, Facebook, doing Facebook target marketing. So we'll actually go through and we'll pull the audience that we want to put your property in front of and create a Facebook ad for it. So now understand that a lot of these things are being targeted to certain buyer groups that we know are looking, whether it's geographic or price point and stuff like that. So you might not all see all of this stuff, but just understand that the marketing department, that's what they're doing behind the scenes. One thing that you'll see when we probably 3 to 4 weeks in and we know everything has been updated on the websites and stuff, we're going to send you an online marketing report that's going to have, it's not exhaustive, it's not every website, but it's going to have probably 30 or 40 different websites, including Realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow, all of those URLs where you can find your property. We'll even give you some of the websites that we're marketing on that aren't Century 21. Believe it or not, we market your property on our competition's website. And we do that because, again, it's all about exposure for your property. So you'll get that about 3 to 4 weeks in, and you'll be able to see exactly where things are at. Now, understand, it's on 500 plus sites, but we're going to give you the most effective ones, the ones you probably really care about, including the social media sites, so you can feel free to share those as well. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to working with you.